Okay, so good morning, class. We will be discussing example problems for design and tension members. So last meeting, we determined the three limit state of designing the tension members. We have the yielding, okay. Recall we have yielding limit states, we have the fracture, and we have the block shear. Okay, so today we will be taking example problems dealing with three limit states of designing tension members. Okay, so for the learning objectives of this module, so you will calculate the maximum safe load that can be applied to a tension members. Also, you can investigate the adequacy of a steel section as a tension member. You can also apply the provisions of the AISC manual for the design of tension members using the LRFT. Okay, then solving for problem 1. So we have this problem 1. Okay, so a one half by 5 plate of A36 steel is used as a tension member. So it is connected to a gasket plate with 4 5/8 inches diameter bolt as shown in this figure. So we will assume that the effective net area AE equals to the actual net area AN. So we cover computation of effective net area in another examples. So the question is, what is the design strength for the LRFP and what is the design strength based on ASD? So una, check lang natin kung tama ba yung assumption. So assumption for AE. So according to the problem, the assumption for AE that AE or the effective net area is equals to AN. Therefore, this is the or original formula for effective area, that is shear lag factor times the net area. So therefore, our U value is equals to 1.0. As you can see, the assumptions is correct because we have a tension member that is a plate. Okay, so a plate, it has one element. Okay, the plate, this one is a plate, only has one element, and all elements are connected to the gasket plate or to the connections. Okay, therefore, our assumptions that U is equals to 1.0. There are no shear lags in the tension members. Okay, so let's start solving for problem A and B. So we have three limit states. Okay, first we have three limit states. The first limit state is based on yielding, okay, based on fracture, and based on block shear. Okay, so hindi given sa problem that we are neglecting block shear first. So we are just considering yielding and fracture of the net section. Okay, so based on yielding, so for yielding in the cross section, so if you cut a section line here, this one, so what can you see? The area of the gross section. So that is AG, that is 5 by 1/2. Since we are using a plate that is 1/2 by 5 inches plate. So this is 5 inches plate. Okay, so therefore, if we cut a section dito, we see a section that is 1/2 by 5 inches plate without holes. So therefore, the area of the gross section is 5 by 1/2. That is AG, that is 2.5 square inches. This one. Okay. Therefore, using the formula for the nominal strength based on yielding, that is PN is equals to FYAG based on check your module 4 or the formula for the gross section based on yielding. Okay, that is 36 times 2.5. So saan po nanggaling yung 36? So where does 36 comes from? Okay, the 36 is, since we are using A36 steel. So according to the manual, so if you check your AISC manual or the parameters for A36, A36 steel has an FY of 36 KSI and an FU okay, of FU that is 58 KSI. So we are using the minimum FU for A36. So we will be using these parameters. So FY that is 36 KSI and FU that is 58 KSI. Okay, therefore, our yielding nominal strength based on yielding that is 36 times the gross sectional area that is 2.5, we have 90 kips. Okay, so set aside this value. So set aside nyo lang to. And then next problem, next limit state is based on the fracture. Okay, so based on fracture. So since our load or tensile load is in this loading direction, so the net fracture is always perpendicular to the direction of the load. So you can cut a line, a section line dito or within the bolts. Okay, take note that fracture only happens within the bolts. Okay, this one, or it can only dito, pwede rin dito. Okay, so you can choose between this section or this section. So since they have the same distances, so they are the same net area. Okay, so if we cut a section here, okay, the section is this one. Okay, so we have a 5/8 inches bolts. So based on the diameter of the hole, so if you recall, the diameter of the hole is always diameter of the bolts plus 1/16 due to punching and 1/16 inches due to construction issues. So therefore, we have 1/8 inches. So that is why your diameter of a hole is 5/8 inches plus 1/8 inches. That is equals to 6/8 inches or equals to 3/4 inches. So that is your diameter of the hole. So this one is our diameter of the hole. Okay, so take note that the net fracture, so if we cut a section and draw a 3D figure, so this one, so if you recall the 3D figure for net section, so this one, okay, we have two holes, then a plate, okay, this one, okay. So this is your plate with net fracture. You have two holes. Then we just need to find the area of this section. This one, and this one. So basically that area is equals to AG minus area of the hole since our bolts is non-staggered. So that is why we have 2.5 inches for the area of the gross minus that is this one is 1/2. If you take note, this thickness is 1/2 and this diameter of the hole is 3/4. Okay, so that is why we have 1/2 times 3/4. Okay, that is this area. Okay, this white area. Okay, and times 2 since you have two holes. That is why you have 2.5 minus 0.75. That is 1.75 square inches. Okay, since the problem is assuming that the effective net area is equals to the actual net area. So therefore, our AE is equals to AN. So that is why your AE is equals to AN, that is 1.75 in square inches. This is true for this example because all elements of the plate members are connected to the gasket plate. That is why your shear log factor is equals to 1.0. Okay, so therefore, going back to your formula for net fracture, that is PN, nominal strength, equals to FUAE, this one. And this one is for the gross section or gross yielding. So that is why your nominal strength based on fracture, that is 58 KSI, multiplied by 1.75, you have 101.5 kips. Okay, so if you are using the phi factor, so since this is only a nominal strength, so we are using ultimate and design strength based on LRFD and ASD. So if you recall, the phi factor for yielding in LRFD is 0.9, and the phi factor in LRFD for fracture is 0.75. This is based on LRFD. Okay, so I think I need to open module 4. So para makita. This one. This one. Okay, so we have the yielding in LRFD that is 0.9 based on fracture that is 0.75. So based on LRFD. That is why you have this ultimate or design strength based on yielding, then 0.9 multiplied by the cross-sectional yielding, nominal strength on cross-section yielding, that is 81 kips. And the design strength based on fracture, that is 0.75 multiplied by 101.5, that is 76.1 kips. So if you are choosing between 81 kips versus 76.1 kips, so which one is governing? So we will choose the smallest of the two. The design strength is based on LRFD, that is 76.1 kips. Why? Okay, so for example, you have this the same problem. So you have this connection, and this connection. So according to the computation, the load that is 81 kips, your connection or your connection will yields at 81 kips. Then at 76.1 kips, your connection will fracture. So which do you think will happen first? Okay, so which do you think will happen first? Based on yielding or based on fracture? Okay, so that is why we will use the smallest of the two. Since 81 kips, nandun na yung 76.1 kips. So therefore, the connection is if you apply load, increasing loads, let's say increasing loads up to 100 kips. So therefore, at 76.1 kips, your section, your whole section will start to fracture. So you can see small fracture at this location. So let's say 75 kips. At 75 kips, you can see a fracture dito. Nagka-crack na siya. Then at applying additional load, let's say 76, 77. So totally nag fracture na yung section na to at 76.1 kips. So that is why we are choosing the smallest of the design strength. So that is why your design strength will be 76.1 kips. So additional question is, let's say the member will expected to carry a total service dead load of 20 kips and a total service live load of 15 kips. So the question is, does the member still adequate based on LRFD? So the solution, syempre, so since you have your design, your capacity, so in order for us to determine if that is adequate or not, so we just need to check the demand. Our capacity is this one, 76.1. So how about the demand load? Okay, so the demand load is, since we are using LRFD design philosophy, so we are using the load combination based on LRFD. So if you check your load combinations on LRFD, we have U1 and U2, since we are having dead load and live load only. So based on U1, that is 1.4 dead load. This is default load combination based on NSCP or the AISC. Okay, so U1, that is 1.4 dead load, that is 1.4 times 20, that is 28 kips. And U2, that is 1.2 dead load, that's 1.6 live load, that is 1.2 times 20, that's 1.6 times 15, that is 48 kips. So comparing 48 to 28 kips, we are choosing the larger value, since the all load combinations are basically what we are expecting to happen in our building or in our structure. So all these load combinations, so therefore we will design our section based on the larger of what we are expecting. Okay, so since we are expecting a 48 kips, we will design our section based on 48 kips. Okay, so that is why we design the member to its critical conditions. Okay, so therefore the ultimate load to be carried is 48 kips, and comparing that that demand load 48 kips to the design strength that is 76.1 kips, what can we say? Since the capacity is greater than the demand load, we can say that based on LRFD, our section is adequate to carry this 20 kips dead load and 15 kips live load, since our capacity is greater than the demand. Okay, so that is the how you design steel or attention members or any structural sections. Okay, so just compare the demand to capacity. Okay, so based on LRFD, so problem B, based on ASD, so since we get the nominal strength, so based on LRFD, if you check module 4, so based on ASD, we are dividing the nominal strength to a factor of safety omega. So whereas your omega based on yielding is 1.67 and your omega based on fracture that is 2.0. Okay, so that is why your design strength based on yielding, okay, they take note based on yielding, so we'll be using a omega factor of 1.67. So based on yielding, we have a value of 90. Take note, based on yielding, we have a value of 90. So that is why 90 divided by 1.67, you get 53.9 kips. Then, based on fracture, so based on fracture, the nominal strength is 101.5 kips. Okay. Then, the omega or the safety factor or the factor of safety is 2.0 based on fracture. You get 50.8 kips. So again, our capacity will be using the smallest of the all limit states. So we will be using the capacity of 50.8 kips. So at this load, again, for let's say for example, you have increasing loads. So at 50.8 kips, your section will start to fracture. Then this will never happen, the yielding of the gross section, since nag-fracture na siya. So hindi na siya katulad nung complete structural member. Okay, so therefore, based on design strength on ASD, we have the capacity. So this will be our capacity. So additional problem or additional question. Let's say again, the member will expected to carry a total service dead load of 20 and a total service live load of 15. The question is, does the member still adequate based on ASD? So the solution, syempre, you need to find the capacity versus the demand. So since your capacity is based on ASD, your demand should be based on ASD load combinations. So if you check the ASD load combinations with total service dead load and total service live load, the governing ASD load combination is this one, dead load plus live load. So therefore, you have total service level load of 20 plus 15, you get 35 kips. Then comparing the capacity to the demand, okay? So since you have the capacity of 50.8 and you just carrying a 35 kips, we can say that our section is adequate. Okay? So that is how you solve for the adequacy of the steel tension members. Okay, so do you have any questions, guys? Okay, so move on for Okay, move on for example problem 2. So for example problem 2, a single angle tension member with a name of L 3 and 1/2 by 3 and 1/2 by 3/8. So it is connected to a gasket plate with a 7/8 inches diameter bolts as shown in this figure. So we will be using again an 836 steel. Okay, the service loads are 35 kips dead load and 15 kips live loads. So investigate this member for compliance with the ASC specification, and we will assume that the effective net area is 85% of the computed net area. So based on LRFT and based on AST. So additional, since angle yan, so we say L3 halves by 3 halves, sorry, by 3 and 1/2 by 3/8. So that is this section. So this is 3 and 1/2. The first is length, height, then the thickness. So that is 3 and 1/2. This one is also 3 and 1/2. And we have a thickness of 3/8 inches. Inches and inches. Okay, this one is also 3/8 inches. Okay, and we are assuming that, take note that we are assuming that AE is equals to 85% of your AN. Okay, so that is all our given. Okay, so if you check the AASE specification, so this one, okay, this one. So don't worry, I will give the necessary parameters for the area or properties, still properties of the section. So if we check the AISC table 1-7, okay, and you check the L3 halves by 3 halves by 3/8, this one, we have an area, cross-sectional area of 2.5 square inches, this one. Okay, so that is why, so this is from part 1 of the manual, this one. So that is why based on gross section or based on gross yielding in the gross section, we have the nominal strength of FYAG. Since our steel section is again 836, our FY is 36 KSI. And we have AG that is 2.5. Therefore, 36 times 2.5, we have a nominal gross section yielding of 90 kips. Okay, so based on net section, so again, the formula for the net section is PN is equals to FUAE. And the formula for gross section is PN, that is FYAG. Okay, so since we know FU, since that is 836, that is 58 KSI, so we need to find AE. So according to the problem, your A is 85% AN. So we need to solve for AN. Then we can solve for the nominal strength based on fracture. Okay, so how are we going to solve for AN? So again, just cut the section in the bolt hole. Okay, this one. So this is the section, cutting plane. Okay, this one and this one. Okay, so this is your cutting plane, and you have this section. Okay, so since our bolts is non-staggered, okay, what do you mean? This is non-staggered. Again, this one. So basically, that is equals to AG minus area of the holes. So your AG is 2.5. So what is the area of the hole? So according to the problem, we will be using a 7/8 inches diameter bolts. So therefore, our diameter of the hole is 7/8 plus 1/8 inches. Okay, that is 8/8 or 1 inches diameter of the hole. Okay, so how many holes in this section or in this cutting plane? We have 1 holes. Okay, therefore, we can say that our AN is 2.5, which is AG. This is your AG. Minus, what is 3/8? your 3/8 is the area of your, the thickness of your angle bar. This one, the thickness of your angle bar. That is this, this area. Okay, that is that area. So that is 3/8 multiplied by the diameter of the hole, that is 1 inch, or 7/8 plus 1/8. And since that is only one hole or one bolt, we have multiplied by 1. Therefore, your AN is, it should be area of the hole. So that is 2.5 minus this area. Okay, that is 2.125 square inches. So since our A is 0.85 AN, you will just multiply our AN to 0.85, we get 1.806 square inches. So take note, we are just assuming 85% AN. So this is only for this example. So don't use 0.85 for all your connections like this one. So this is only for the example. This is only the assumptions. Okay, so based on the nominal strength, based on fracture, so this is FUAE. So therefore, we can solve for the net fracture nominal strength. We have 58 KSI, which is FU of your A36 steel, and your AE, this is 1.806. We have 104.7. So comparing 90 kips to 104.7, therefore, we will be using 90 kips. Okay, 90 kips is just the nominal strength. So we can also compare that based on design strength. So since again, we will be using a factor phi for LRFD, that is 0.9 in yielding and 0.75 in fracture. So phi in yielding, that is 0.9 times 90, you have 81 kips. And based on design strength on fracture, you have 0.75 times the nominal strength in fracture, you have 78.5 kips. Okay, so we will be using the design strength that is smaller of the two. So choose smaller of the two. So choose smaller. Okay, so we will be using 78.5 kips. Okay, so this one. So just compare the smaller based on the design strength. So you apply a factor of safety or a factor phi. So doon kayo mamimili. Okay, so the question is does the member is adequate given the loads? Okay, so according to the problems, you have 35 kips dead load and 15 kips live load. So this one, you have 35 kips dead load and 15 kips live load. So same on what we did on problem 1. So we will be using an LRFD combination. So this is your capacity. So you just need to find the demand load based on your design philosophy. So we will be using LRFD. Okay. So we will be using LRFD load combinations. So again, since the given has only dead load and live load, only present of dead load and live load, so the two load combination is this one, 1.4 dead load and 1.2, 1.6 live load. Okay, so 1.4 times 35, you have 49 kips. And 1.2 times 35 plus 1.6 times 15, you have 66 kips. So therefore, we will be designing our members based on the critical load. So we will be using 66 kips, our combination 2. Since we are expecting a load of 49 and we are expecting a load of 66, we'll be using the design based on the 66 kips. So this will be your capacity. This will be your demand. This will be your demand. So comparing the capacity versus the demand, so 78.5 is your capacity compared to the demand that is 66. Therefore, our member is satisfactory based on LRFD. Okay, what if we base our design based on ASD? So again, since we are using ASD, we are dividing the nominal strength in a factor omega, or factor of safety omega. So based on yielding, we have a factor of safety what is 1.67, and based on fracture, you have a factor of safety that is 2.0. Okay, therefore, based on yielding of the cross section, your nominal strength divided by the omega factor 1.67, you have 53.9 kips. And based on fracture in the net section, since you have the nominal strength divided by a factor of safety of 2.0, you have 52.4 kips. So again, since you have two capacity, so this is your capacity. Always note what you are computing. So this is the capacity. So what you will be choosing is the smaller of the two limit states. So we will be using 52.4 kips. So 52.4 kips. So this is your governing capacity. So this will be your capacity. Okay, so when the only loads are dead load and live load, so based on your ASD load combination, this load combination will govern dead load plus live load. So basically, you just add the dead load that is 35 kips and live load that is 15 kips. You get 15 kips for your demand load. Okay, therefore, comparing the capacity to your demand, since your capacity is greater than the demand, the member is satisfactory. So consolidating our problem, so based on our observation, so if you are choosing for the capacity, you will choose the minimum of all limit states. Then if you are choosing solving for the demand load, you will choose the maximum of all load combinations. Okay, so okay ba tayo dyan? If you are dealing with capacity, just choose the minimum of all limit states. And if you are dealing with the demand load, you are choosing the maximum of all load combinations. Okay? Okay, so next problem. So problem 3, determine the effective net area for the tension member shown in the figure. Okay, so we have this effective net area. So according to the formula for the staggered and non-staggered wave, remember the net area. So for non-staggered holes, you have AN, that is AG minus area of the hole. So this is basically the area of the holes. And for staggered holes, we have AN minus AG minus area of the hole plus the correction factor of the Cochrane correction factor, summation of S squared over 4G times your thickness. Okay, since our problem is non-staggered holes, this one, non-staggered holes pa rin yan. Okay, so we will be using these solutions. Okay, so the problem is asking determine the effective net area AE. Okay, so this one. So take note that your AN is equals to AG minus area of the holes. So your AG, so if you check L6 by 6 by 1/2, the AG or the gross sectional area of L by 6 by 6 by 1/2, that is 5.77 square inches. That is based on steel properties. Steel section property. Okay, that is the steel section property for L6 by 6 by 1/2. Okay, so if we cut a section, this one dito, if we cut a section here, so we can see two holes. Therefore, since we are using 5/8 inches bolts, so the thickness of your angle is 1/2. That is your thickness of the angle. Your diameter of the hole, that is 5/8 plus 1/8 inches. Okay, and how many holes? You have two holes, you get 5.02 AN. Okay, then according to the solution or the equation for AE, that is equals to U times AN. So you have your AN na. So what is U? So you have different cases. So if you check for different cases of the shear lug, okay, this one, different cases for shear lugs, or you can check this one. Okay. So according to the problem, we have an angle case 2. So under siya in case 2. This one. This is your case 2. We have a plate, then you have an angle bar over here. So you have an equation U is equals to 1 minus X bar over L. Okay. So you need to find X bar. So that is U. Your formula is 1 minus X bar over L. X bar over L. So you need to find X bar and your L. Okay, so what is X bar and L? Okay, according to our last module, module 4, your X bar is the distance from the centroid of the connected area to the length of connection, to the connected area, distance from the centroid of the member to the connected area. And your L is the length of connection. Okay, this one. So, hindi ko rin na-state yung properties. So, if you check the properties of our L6 by 6 by 1/2, the centroidal distance of L6 by 6 by 1/2 from the bottom of the angle bar, okay, that is 1.67 inches. Okay, so therefore, your X bar is the distance from the centroid of the angle to the length of the to the connection, that is 1.67. So you have your X bar to be 1.67. Okay, what is L? The length of connection. So according to the AISC connection manual, your length of connection is basically the distance of the farthest hole and to the nearest hole measured center to center. So this one, your farthest hole is this line, and this one is your nearest holes. You have 3 inches and 3 inches. Therefore, your total length of connection is 6 inches. That is why you have this L, that is 6 inches. Okay, therefore, your shear lug factor U is equals to 1 minus X bar over L. You have 1 minus 1.67 over 6. You have a shear lug factor of 0.7217. And solving for AE, or the effective net area, so AN multiplied by U, that is 5.02, multiplied by your U, that is 0.7217, you have 3.623 square inches. So this will be your answer for the effective net area. Okay, so another problem. So compute the smallest area for the plate shown in figure 3.15, this one. So the holes are 1 inch diameter of the bolts. Okay, so this is an example of staggered connections. Okay, so we are considering the Cochrane's correction equations. Okay, so the summation of S squared over 4G times T. Okay, so let's write the diameter of the bolts. So diameter of the bolts is 1 inch. So therefore, our diameter of the hole is dB plus 1 over 8 inches. You have your diameter of the hole to be 1 plus 1 over 8. That is 8 over 8 plus 1. That is 9. Okay, 9 over 8 inches. Or 1 and 1/8 inches. This one. Okay. So, given this type of holes or the non-staggered holes, we need to consider different cases. So, we can assume that during the load T, we can have a fracture at this line. Okay, or maybe you can have a fracture of this line. Okay, just go to the nearest holes, so this one, and going to the edge. Okay, so we can have different colors. Okay, maybe you can have a net fracture at this case. Okay, so we can assume that our line of the net fracture is at the line ABDE, or maybe at the line AB, then CDE. Okay, so that is these cases. So considering the line ABDE, first ABDE or yung red line, so your net width, okay, we say that that is net width. So just divide the area by thickness. So we don't multiply this net width to thickness. So okay, ito lang, width lang siya, net width lang. So net width is basically the gross width minus the summation of diameter of the hole plus the summation of S squared over 4G. So this one. So tinanggal lang po yung thickness. So yung thickness is finactor out lang. So that is your net width. So in AG, you have also the thickness. So if you factor out thickness, you have the net width. Okay, so that is net width. Okay, so considering the line ABDE, if you cut the section ABDE, so the gross sectional width or gross width is 16 inches, where you get your 16 inches. That is 3 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3. That is 16 inches. Okay, minus dalawang holes, since we are considering ABDE, you have 2 holes times 1.125, that is equivalent for 1 and 1/8 inches. That is equivalent to 1.125 inches. Okay, and there is no Cochrane's equation, sir, since there is no inclined position in the holes. So since line ABDE, no inclined or no this one, no diagonal fracture. Okay, so it's just simply WG minus summation of your DH. So you have a net width of 13.75 inches considering the line ABDE. Okay, now considering the line ABCDE, or the blue line, okay, so that is WN equals to WG minus summation of BH plus summation of S squared over 4G. So now you have a diagonal crux. So you have a Cochrane's correction factor of summation of S squared over 4G. So again, take note that your S is parallel to the loading direction, and your G is the perpendicular to the loading direction. So you have a loading direction na horizontal, so therefore your S is in horizontal position, and your G or your gauge distance is in vertical position. Okay, so again, your your gross width, which is 16 inches, minus how many holes in the line A, B, C, D, E. You have 1, 2, 3 holes, multiplied by the diameter of the hole, that is 1.125, plus the Cochrane's equation factor. Okay, so you have S squared over 4G. So first diagonal is this one. So the line BC. So what is S? You have 3 inches. And what is G? That is 5 inches. So that is why 3 squared over 4G, that is 4 times 5. And next one is we have this diagonal line CD. Okay, so since that is a diagonal line CD, we need to use a Cochrane's correction factor, summation of S squared over 4G. Again, your S is your pitch distance to be 3 squared, 3. And your H distance, again, that is 5 inches, you have 4 times 5. Therefore, your net width is 13.2. Okay, so we will be using the minimum net width. Okay, we will be using the minimum net width. Just choose the minimum of 13.75 and 13.52. Therefore, your minimum net width is 13.52. So we are asking, the problem is asking for the effective net area, which is AE. You just need to multiply your net width to thickness, that is 13.52 times 0.75, you have 10.1 square inches. Okay, so just choose the minimum net width or minimum net area if you have different cases for fracture. Okay, please take note of that. Okay, another problem is this one. So we are now considering a block shear limit states. Okay, so compute the block shear strength of the tension member shown in this figure. Okay, the holes are 7/8 inches diameter holes, and we're also using an A36 steel. So the problem is asking using the LRFD design philosophy and ASD design philosophy. So the problem is using an L 3 halves by 3 halves by 3/8 A36 steel. Then we have a distance of 2 inches at this position, and you have 1.5 inches at the edge distance, and this spacing distance is 3 inches, and you will be using a 7/8 inches bolts. Okay, so considering block shear, so we have this load. Let's say this one is our load T. So block shear is tearing of a block. Okay, so again, that is a block shear, that is tearing of the block. So this one. Okay, this one. A certain connection or a segment or a block of a material is tear out. Okay, so that is a combination of shear and tension. So this location, so this one is your shearing area, and this one is your tension area. Okay, again, if you recall what I have said in block shear, so 1/2 of the bolts, or at the middle of the bolts, yung pag-tear out, this one. So therefore, you have the shear areas, okay, the cross-sectional shear area, which is AGB, that is 7.5. This is your 7.5. And the thickness of your angle bar is 3/8 inches. So your AGV is 2.813 square inches. Okay, since there are 2.5 holes, again, there are 2.5 holes. Okay, so since you have 2.5 hole in diameter, so you need to remove the 2.5 holes in the AGV. So ano po yung 2.5 holes na yun? This one, you have 1 hole, 2 holes, pangalawa, and you have 1/2 hole. Okay, you have 2.5 holes for the shearing area. Okay, that is why your A and V is 3/8. Okay, this is your thickness multiplied by the total width of 7.5 minus 2.5 holes. Your whole diameter is 7/8 plus 1/8. You have 1.875 square inches. So that is your A and V. Then, what is your tension area? The tension area is this one. So you again, that is 0.5 volts or 1/2 volts. Okay, this one. You have your total tension area minus 0.5 volts. You get this distance. Okay, so how to solve for that distance? Okay, again, I have an L3 halves by 3 halves by 3 halves. By 3/8. So this is 3 and 1/2. This is 3 and 1/2. And this is 3/8. Okay. So according to the figure, this one, according to the figure, you have a hole at this location. Okay. If you can see, you have a hole at this location. This one is your web. This one is your web. So top view. Okay, top view. You have this section. Okay, then the distance of the center of the holes to the edge is 2 inches. That is why you have this 2. Okay, this is 2 inches. So if you have 3 and 1/2 inches and minus 2 inches, therefore this distance is 1 and 1/2 inches or 1.5 inches. Okay, so that is why your A and T, so this is 1.5 inches. Okay, therefore your tension area is 3/8, the thickness of your angle bar, multiplied by 1.5, the total width minus 1/2 of the holes. So 1/2, that is 0.5 multiplied by the holes. So this is your diameter of the hole. This is your 0.5 minus your width. Okay, then the thickness. That is why you get 0.375 square inches for A and T. So going back to the formula for block shear, so you have FU for A36, you have A and V for what we solve for the net area in shear. You have your A and T, the net area and tension. You have AGB, the gross section area for shear. Okay, therefore our problem is now solved. So what you have left is the UBS factor. UBS equals to 1 or UBS equals to 0.5. Again, if the problem is not stating the value of UBS, you will be using UBS to be equals to 1.0. Okay, so again, the factor 0.5 is used because there is 1/2 of the whole diameter in the tension section, this one. And since the block shear will occur in an angle, your UBS is equals to 1.0. And from the AIS equation, J4-5, this one. So this is your formula and this is your upper limit. So this is your upper limit. So solving first for this value. Okay. So solving for this value, you have 0.6 times FU of A36, that is 58. The A and V, which we have solved for 2.5 holes, you have 1.875 plus the UBS value, that is 1.0 times FU, that is 58, times your A and T, which is the net tension area, that is 0.375. You have your value of 87 kips. And checking the upper limit, okay, checking the upper limit of this equation, we have 0.6 Fy plus UBS FUA and T, which is 0.6 times 36 times FAGB, which is 2.813, plus your UBS to be 1.0, your FU to be 58, your ANT to be 0.375. Therefore, your upper limit is 82.51. Then, comparing the value of your RN to the upper limit, we will be using the nominal block shear strength of 82.51 since this is the upper limit. You cannot exceed to this value. Okay, so therefore the design strength for LRFD, since we are using LRFD, so we need to multiply the factor phi. So according to the formula, the factor phi for LRFD is 0.75 and the factor omega for AST is 2.0. So basically you just multiply the factor phi in LRFD, that is 61.9 kips, and divide the factor omega in AST to be 82.51 divided 2 to be 41.3 kips. Okay, so this is your design strength based on LRFD, and this is your design strength based on AST. So if you want to solve for the, if you want to check if your section is adequate, you just need to solve for the demand load and compare it to the capacity to what we have solved in capacity based on LRFD or AST. Okay, last example problem. Okay, I think we have at least 12 o'clock. So example problem. So given the supply shown in this figure below, so determine the maximum capacity T using, we are assuming that 25% dead load and 75% live load. So based on the A36 steel plates having a holes arranged as shown. So what value of S should be specified to provide a maximum capacity of T as compared in part A, as computed in part A, if the design is to have the value of S1 and S2 to be equal to S. Okay, the problem is now asking what is the desired design pitch distances based on the capacity of problem A. Okay, so that is the problem. So this figure comes from the book of Salmon and Malhas, Steel Design Structure and Behavior. Okay, so this example connection is an example of splicing. So you have plate and cover plates at top. So this one is your cover plate at top, which is 5/16 inches thick plate, 5/16 thickness thick plate at the bottom, and you have 11/16 thick plate at the middle. And you will be using a 7/8 inches diameter of the bolts. Okay, so first we will determine that the capacity of problem A, since according to the problem we are using 25% dead load and 75% live load using the A36 steel. Okay, take note class that the thickness of the middle plate, which is 11/16, is greater than twice the thickness of your cover plate, which is 10/16 or 2 times 5/16, that is 10/16. Therefore, the governing tearing failure or the tensile rupture of the plate will occur on the cover plates and not in the main plates. So the critical section for tearing at the cover plate is at the section 1,1 because it yields the least net area. So if you solve for this one and this line, this one over here, and you can solve for line dito. So the least net area is line 1,1. And again, the problem is asking for S1 and S2. So you cannot solve for this considering this line line of action for tearing. So you cannot consider this one since the problem is asking for S1 and S2 based on the capacity on problem A. Okay, so again, the connection is splice connection. Okay, splice connection. And your cover plates is total thickness of your cover plates is 10/16. Take note the total thickness of your cover plate is 10/16 or twice yung 5/16 inches. So basically, we are using this thickness na 2 times 5/16. Okay, so that will be your thickness of the cover plates. So considering the tension yielding in the cross section, based on the demand load, so we are using 1.2 dead load plus 1.6 live load. So 1.2 times 25% of your T. This is your T. Okay, plus 1.6, that is 75% of your T. You get this demand load to be 1.5 T. So this will be our equation 6.1. Okay, then solving for the capacity. So letter A, based on tensile yielding in the cross section. So phi Fy Ag, your phi is 0.9, your Fy is 36. What is your Ag? Okay, your Ag is basically the distance, this line section 1,1. So your line section 1,1 based on gross is this one. Or I think it should be the same length for this one. This length is 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. You have 10 inches. And this thickness is 5/16 inches. Then you have two cover plates from top and bottom. You have this multiplier 2. Okay, for two cover plates. Okay, so therefore you have 0.9 times 36 times 10 times 5/16 times 2. For two cover plates, you have 202.5 kips. Okay, then the tensile rupture in the next section. Okay, the formula for the tensile rupture in the next net section is phi times T sub n. It is phi times FUAE, where your A is U times AN. Again, if we examine the example problem, our U or the shear log factor is 1.0 for flat plate. For case 1, since all elements are connected into the main plate. Okay, therefore, our shear log factor is 1.0. Therefore, we can say that your AE is equivalent to AN. And your tensile rupture in the next section is in this formula, phi FUAN. So solving for AN, considering the line section 1,1, this one. So AN basically is AG minus your area of the holes. Your AG is 10 times 5/16 times 2. So we factor out the 2 at the outside. So since for two cover plates, this one is for two cover plates. Okay. Then your area of the hole is N times your dB times plus 1/8 inches times the thickness of your cover plates. Okay. Therefore, you have 10 times 5/16 minus twice the diameter of the hole, which is 7/8 plus 1/8 times the thickness of the cover plate to be 5/16 times 2 for the two cover plates. You have area, net area 1,1, that is 5 square inches. Okay. Therefore, the net fracture is 0.75 times 58, that is your FU for 836, times 5, you have 217.5 kips. Take note that the block shear will not govern because of the relatively thick plates. Also, at this point in the solution, one cannot check the block shear because the S1 and S2 is still unknown. Take note that further that the edge distance is unknown. Okay, your edge distances is unknown. Okay, you have S1 is S2 to be unknown. So therefore, we can say that the block shear is not will not govern, and we are not considering block shear. Okay, therefore, we are comparing the two limit states. You have 217.5 kips capacity and 202.5 kips capacity. Therefore, we are using the tensile yielding in the cross section to be 202.5 kips. So capacity, we will choose the minimum of the all limit states. That is 202.5 kips. Okay, so that is the tensile yielding governs this one. Okay, next problem. What value of your S or what value of your pitch distance S1 and S2 to provide the maximum capacity of T of this tension. Okay, based on computed A. Okay, so this one, okay, I think hindi ko pa na-solve for the value of T. So this is your demand. So solving for the value of T, so just compare the demand to, the demand to capacity. So demand is equals to capacity, or your demand should be less than or equal to your capacity. Okay, this should be the demand is 1.5 T. That is 1.5 T less than or equal to your capacity, which is 202.5 kips. Therefore, solving for T should be less than or equal to 202.5 divided by 1.5. That is equals to 135 kips. Okay, so this load T 135 kips, 25% of that is dead load, and 75% of that is live load. So this one is your total service loads. So this one is paghahatian by 25% dead load and 75% live load. Okay, so 135 kips comes from the 25% dead load and 75% live load. Okay, so 25% of your T is dead load, and 75% of your T is live load. Okay, so solving for problem B, what value of S should be satisfied? So since we are considering this line of action, so considering pitch S1 and S2. Okay, so again, your fracture is FUAN, whereas your AN is, we are now considering the line action section 2-2, this one, AN 2-2. So therefore, your VFU is equals to AG, the gross sectional area, minus 3 holes. You have 3 holes, 1, 2, 3 holes. Okay, multiplied by the diameter of the hole, which is TB plus 1/8. Okay, times the thickness of the cover plate, plus you have two Crane's equation correction factor. You have this one, this is S1, and this is S2, which is also equals to S. Okay, so therefore you have 2 times S1 S squared over 4G. This is your first Cochrane equation factor, and this one is second Cochrane correction factor, multiplied by the thickness of the cover plate, multiplied by 2 for this one is for 2 cover plates. Okay, and take note that this time your TU is 202.5 kips based on problem A. Therefore, we are equating your demand to the capacity, which is TU is less than or equal to the phi sub FU AG minus 3 times diameter of the hole times the thickness of the cover plate, plus 2 times S squared over 4G times thickness of cover plate times 2 cover plates. Then substituting the given values, you have 202.5 less than or equal to 0.75 which is your phi factor. Your Fu is 58 KSI for A36. Your Ag is 10 by 5 over 16. Your area of the hole is 3 times 7 over 8 plus 1 over 8 times 5 over 16 plus 2 times the Cochrane's equation. So your S is unknown, your G is 2 inches. So this is your G, the perpendicular distance to the direction of loading, that is 2 inches. And this one is your 2 inches. Times the thickness of the cover plates, which is 5 over 16 multiplied by 2, you get, solving this equation, you get S squared should be greater than or equal to 1.79328. Okay, then solving for S, taking square root of both sides, you have S should be greater than or equal to 1.34 inches. So that is how you solve for the this type of equation problems. Okay. So for your activity, so this is 10% of your grade. So your duration is 1 week. So duration is 1 week. So you will pass this on the blackboard. Okay, I will create an assignment or activity submission bin. So this one you can solve manually or type written. So you have activity 1, this one, design strength based on LRFT and design strength based on AST. And also this one, A36, compute the nominal strength based on gross area and based on net area. Okay, and you also have this activity, the tension member, which is PL3/8 plus 5 and 1/2. So this is a plate. So no need to solve for U. This is a plate. Okay, using A242 steel. So just check the AISC manual or what I give in module, I think module 3. Okay, in module 3, you can check what is the properties of A242 steel. Okay, so do you have any questions, class? Hello?
Sir?
Yes?
Sir, applicable din po ba ang block shear sa dalawang layer po ng bolts po?
Applicable. Yes, the block shear is applicable for 2 layers of bolts. However, in the case ng example problems natin, example problem, this one, example problem 6, we're not considering block shear because the pitch distance S is unknown. So, hindi natin masasolve yung block shear. Okay, again, in a problem, example problem, I think 1, 2, and 3, we are not considering block shear limit states. But to answer your problem, yes, it also happens for 2 layers.
Okay po, sir.
Okay, so if you check reference, if you check for the reference examples for 2 layers, let's say this one. So this is the plate, you have a gasket plate, then you have a 2 layers. Okay, this one. So what can you think of block shear? So case 1 is this block will tear out. Case 2 is this 2 block will tear out. Okay, this one and this one. And case 3 is case 3 is this one will tear out. Okay, so you have 3 cases. So if you check different references book, you can solve for that problems. Okay, any more questions?
Sir, the last answer as y has to be greater than 1.34 in example 5, sir. Sorry, example 6, yes. The last answer.
Example 6 is 1.34.
Yes. Yes, y has to be greater or equal to 1.34.
What should be? Okay, I think you're correct. I think it should be less than or equal to 1.34. Yes. This one should be less than or equal to 1.34. So if we check, your S squared is sorry, wait. This one. Okay, tama. Sorry, it should be greater than 1.34. The greater net width, if you take note the formula, 0.75 FUAE. Okay, this one. And the formula for AE with AN, that is AG minus area of the holes plus the summation of S squared over 4G times T. Okay, so if we increase AN, we increase the capacity. Okay, take note, if we increase AN, we increase also AE, we increase also the capacity for the tensile rupture. Okay, since if we increase S, this one, if we increase S, we increase AN, we increase AE, then we increase the tensile capacity. However, if we increase the tensile fracture capacity, which is this one, so T sub n, if we increase this one, this may not be this will not likely to govern, because we also have one limit state. We have the gross yielding, and we also has the block shear. Okay, so if we increase S, yes, if we increase S, yes, our fracture is increasing. However, that is not likely to govern, because we also have two limit state. We have the gross yielding and the block shear. Okay, so that, to answer your problem, yes, that is greater than or equal. So if you check this one, this is your capacity, this is your demand. So your demand should be less than or equal to the capacity. And your S squared is this location, and then dito yung S squared natin. Okay?
Sir, no, my question is, sir, 1.34 is the standard to compare it for the value of S. 1.34, this 1.24, where does it come from, sir?
Take the square root of your S squared. Take the square root of both sides. Take the square root of both sides. Take the square root of take the square root of 1.79328. You get S, that is 1.34. To be exact, that is 1.339.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, sa field po ba, pina-follow niyo po ba yung 1.34 po? Exact po? Or
No.
may parang
No.
may estimation?
No. We are considering in the field, we're considering if you want to constructability issues, since 0.34 inches is not hindi natin nagagawa yung 0.34 inches. So we can use by in millimeters, we are using by 25 millimeters. By 25 millimeters tayo. So if we use this one, so ang gagawin dyan, 2 inches na yan. So i-round up natin yan. So in millimeters, by 25 mm or by 1 inch. Kasi yun yung nakikita dun sa tawag dito, dun sa tape measure or sa steel tape, if you know that, yung kulay yellow.
Yes, sir.
Oo. Or pwede rin, minsan kasi mayroon ding na by 1/16 inches. Okay, kung nakikita nyo dun sa ibang mga steel tape, yung mga tape measure, by 1/16 inches din sila. So pwede na lang gawin, round up nila to 1/16 inches. So, by 1/16 inches, pwede rin ito. Basta ano, nakikita siya sa side. Nakikita siya, madali siyang i-construct. So kung ako yung designer, I will be using 1.5 inches in my design of S. Okay. So any more questions, guys? Okay, so for your exams naman, just use the exact value. So since we are dealing with the theoretical computations, manual calculations, just use the exact value. So in your plates, you can use by 0.5 inches or by 0.25 inches, yung mga yan, mga 3/4 and 1/2 and 1/4 inches, yan, nakikita yan sa sides. Sa madaling i-construct yan. Okay? Any more questions, guys?
Sir, last po.
Yes.
Sa ano po ba, sir? Sa field po, kino-consider nyo po bang malayo ang demand sa capacity po or mas
Yes.
closest
Yes.
po yung demand or sa capacity?
Yes, we are always considering the closeness of the demand to capacity. So what can you say about demand? We are that is demand capacity ratio. We call it the demand capacity ratio. So the demand capacity ratio should be always less than or equal to 1.0. Okay, so kunwari, for example, you have two design. Your DCR capacity for your first design or your preliminary design is, let's say your column is 0.1. Then your next design DCR, your column is let's say 0.9. So which one will you choose? So are you going to choose DCR of 0.1 or are you going to choose DCR that is 0.9? Okay? So mas malapit sa 1.0, much closer to DCR of 1.0, much better in terms of economical design. So since they are both safe, since they are less than 1.0, ibig sabihin, your capacity is greater than the demand. Okay, so ang labanan na lang dito, the only factor of deciding is the closeness to DCR ratio or the economical design. So let's say your DCR that is 0.1, your column size is 600 by 600. Let's say 600 by 600. And your DCR that is 0.9, your column is 400 by 400. So which one are you choosing? So therefore, I will be choosing this one, DCR that is 0.9, since this is economical. Okay, so much closer to 1.0 DCR, much economical. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you want ETABS, yung nakapag-try ka na ng ETABS software, so any other software, they have this demand capacity ratio. So the demand capacity ratio is the ratio of your demand to the capacity. Okay, so ayan, makikita mo yan kapag nag-try ka during our manual structural analysis in softwares, yan, makikita mo yung DCR ratio niya. Okay? Any more questions, guys? Okay, so none so far. So again, remind ko lang, you have your this one, you have your activity, which is a duration of 1 week. And also, we will be having our next meeting on Thursday. And I will be giving your first quiz on Tuesday. So the coverage of your first quiz on Tuesday is design of tension members. So all limit states of gross yielding, tensile fracture, and block shear. Okay, class? Sige. No questions? Okay,
Hello po,
sige.
sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, there is one. I have one concern for sir. Due to the situation here in Myanmar, sir, the government has announced that there will be time to time they will cut off the electricity. So if ever, sir, you are calling out for the attendance, and I do not have the electricity yet, maybe during the time, if I do not call answer you,
yes.
I may not have the electricity, but it will take some time to come in the meeting, sir.
Okay. If you
request, sir, if you are calling, yes, sir.
Check the course guide, your attendance is not included in the grading system. In my case. Okay. If you check the course guide, so attendance attendance is optional. However, if by the time that we are having our quizzes or any submission requirements, and you fail to submit, or you are expecting to not submit it on time, just message me right before the submission. Okay, message me in any means, by email or by Blackboard.
Yes, by email I can.
Yes. By email, you can email me as, let's say, sir, I cannot submit my my paper on time, or maybe due to current situation in your country, or maybe
Yes,
you can send an email your exam on my email. So much better if you
Sige po, sir.
Okay, just
Sige po, sir.
not in the case of Mr. Peter Ong. So the same with you guys. So if you have kunyari you may cases sa inyo na, let's say, sa province, and you have you don't have electricity, so please email me right before the submission deadline. Okay, so I can consider you that you really do the requirements on time. Okay, so ayun lang. So for this activity, again, next meeting you will pass this activity next week on Tuesday, and again you will be having your first quiz on design of tension member on Tuesday. Okay, so don't have any questions. Okay, sige. Thank you, class. And I think mamaya ba yung laboratory natin?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Sige, let's check na lang natin sa laboratory. So see you on laboratory. Okay, thank you.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you, sir.